One of the first steps in the home buying process is the buyer consultation. Realtor representation when buying a home is traditionally free, so you'll want to be uber picky with who you hire to help you because hiring the wrong agent can be extremely risky. We have a whole video on our YouTube channel about how to pick the right agent. But the buyer's consultation can be done in person or virtually, and it gives the realtor the opportunity to ask you questions, learn more about what's important to you and your future home. Whether you're a few weeks out or a few years away from moving, it's never too early to start this process. Your agent can suggest areas, explain the buying process, and get you with a lender if you need one to start the pre-qualification process. Your lender can play a huge role in helping you with the home of your dreams. Each lender can offer different programs, different rates, and they all have different levels of experience. So top realtors will have recommendations for great lenders that have a track record of success. Once you connect with the lender, they typically get your pre-qualification together in a few hours. Once you have this ready, your agent can start an exclusive search for you and potentially start showing you homes in person. Many sellers will want to ensure that buyers are pre-qualified before scheduling showings. It's truly never too early to start this process, even if you're several months or even years out, just to be prepared and ready to go in advance. I usually recommend to physically start looking at homes around 60 days prior to your desired move-in date. If you've been considering building a home, it may be a really great option for you because you can typically lock in that price now and reserve the lot with a small earnest money deposit, and you traditionally don't pay anything besides the deposit and the appraisal until closing day. And even if you're building from scratch, that could take 6 to 12 months, depending on the builder. We have a ton of new builds in the DFW area, so here's an important tip if you're looking at new builds. You'll want to always ensure that you bring your realtor with you on your first visit to the model homes. If you go to a model alone and then eventually end up buying, you'll be at risk of being unrepresented. This can be very risky, because you have no one really looking out for your best interests. And the right agent who knows how to negotiate can save you thousands on your purchase and ensure that you make it to your closing date. If you're looking for a realtor in the Dallas, Frisco, or Fort Worth area, we'd love to help. Download our free buying guide on YouTube.
Our Metroplex has so many amazing new build communities, and builders are offering great incentives right now. If you're interested in seeing what new builds are out there, our website, livingindffw.com, is a great resource for you because it has all the new builds in one place. Once you're ready to look at models in person, it's extremely important that you don't go into the models without your realtor. If you do and end up purchasing in the future, you'll risk being unrepresented on your purchase. It's important to know that a realtor's services when buying a home are traditionally free to you. So it's in your best interest to have this basically free representation. The sales consultant and the sales office work for the seller and the builder, and your agent works for you. Your realtor will overview the legal documents, be there during each step of the way, and ensure you're protected throughout the entire process. They can help you negotiate a great deal for you. Once you register with your agent at the model home, you can go back to the model home as many times as you want with or without us and look at the models. But when it's time to negotiate, write an offer, pick all of your options, talk to the sales consultant. You'll want your agent to represent you there with you in person. So if you're looking for a new home in DFW, download our free buyer's guide on YouTube and reach out to us anytime. We're happy to meet you in person or at the models and help you through every step of the way. We also spend a ton of time researching all of the latest and greatest new build communities. We also have access to future communities and coming soon. And we have a few tips on how you can actually negotiate the new build price to save you potentially thousands of dollars. So reach out to us anytime with all of your new build questions.
Are you curious what happens when you find the home that you want to buy? Well, if you found the perfect home, it's an exciting time. And if you love that home, chances are there are other buyers who love it too. So timing matters. The first step is to see the home in person to verify that it's truly the one for you. The next step is for your realtor to run a detailed analysis to determine the market value of the property. The list price is truly just a marketing price. It could be perfectly in line with the market. It could be too high. It could be too low. And this analysis will help you have a baseline to determine your offer amount. Your realtor should call the listing agent right away to find out more details. They should ask, are there any other offers or interests? What's important to the seller? Because knowing what the seller's wants or needs are is extremely important information to have before you write an offer. We'll need to also have your lender involved to get the updated pre-qual to go along with your offer. And this is why it's important to work with a lender that is available beyond the traditional business hours, because it happens a lot after hours. On the offer, we'll need your offer price, your earnest money deposit amount, your down payment amount, and your closing date. Your earnest deposit is typically 1% of the purchase price. This can be higher or lower depending on what you and your agent decide to write on your offer. If your offer is accepted, your deposit would be due within 72 hours of acceptance. Your realtor will help guide you through each step of the offer process.
Once your offer to buy a house is accepted, you should schedule a home inspection right away. When purchasing a house, you can request different types of inspections. However, a house inspection is the most common contract contingency for home buyers, and it's strongly recommended. Usually, the inspection needs to occur during the due diligence period, which is typically about 10 days, but it can be longer or shorter depending on what was negotiated in your offer. During this time, you can research the home and have a certified inspector take a close look at the property to ensure that there's no significant problems. The cost of a home inspection will usually range between $400 and $600 depending on the size of the house. The expense comes out of your pocket as the buyer, but when you're making such a significant investment like buying a home, it's a small cost to pay for the peace of mind that an inspection provides. So this is essential to having a home inspection before purchasing and closing on your property, because it can uncover issues that may not be apparent to your eyes alone, such as hidden structural problems, electrical wiring issues, pest infestation, and this knowledge can protect you from unexpected future expenses and help you make an informed decision about your property you're about to purchase. But with so many inspectors out there, how do you choose one? Well, start by doing your research online, check out the reviews, and ask your realtor for recommendations from previous clients for the perfect home inspector. And keep in mind, as the buyer, this is your responsibility to pick the inspector and schedule the appointment. And if there's a pool or if you'd like a termite inspection, that's additional. So don't forget to mention that to the inspector when you're booking your appointment. Usually you can get an inspection scheduled within a few days of calling. When the inspector comes out to the property, they'll take a few hours to thoroughly check out everything, from the interior to the exterior, to the roof, to the attic, and even to the plumbing, pool, and spa if you have one. But don't worry if the report seems overwhelming. It's totally normal for it to be several pages long. Every house will have issues, even the new ones. Once the inspection is done, the buyer and the buyer's agent meet back out at the home to go over the findings, and the inspector, this takes about 30 to 45 minutes, and anything deal-breaking comes up, you can typically cancel the contract during the due diligence period and get your deposit back. But if you do decide to move forward, keep in mind that you may want to schedule additional inspectors and inspections if the inspector finds issues with things such as the foundation, the roof, the AC, maybe you need a sewer scope or other items, and you will want to ask the seller to complete any repairs before closing. You will need to have a particular form filled out included with the contract. We have more information about this included in our buyer's guide on our YouTube channel, so definitely check that out.
The final walkthrough is an opportunity for the home buyers to inspect the house before the official closing. The walkthrough allows the buyer and the real estate agent to go through the home room by room. This walkthrough is a chance for the buyer to make sure everything is in the same condition or better than the last time they saw it. The home buyers can verify that the seller hasn't taken anything from the home that they weren't supposed to. And the final walkthrough also allows a buyer to see that the seller has made the repairs that were promised during the inspection period. This walkthrough is the buyer's opportunity to make sure that the home is in the condition it should be and there aren't any remaining issues that the seller failed to address. Once the closing moves forward and the buyer moves in the home, it's likely too late to bring any problems forward. For that reason, it's important that the buyer be thorough during this time. You'll want to ensure that all the repairs have been completed, and you'll also want to make sure that everything conveys that conveys in the purchase is there. It's actually more common than you might think for the seller or their movers to accidentally load something that was supposed to convey, like the refrigerator or the washer dryer. So let's make sure that it's there. This could include appliances, curtains, curtain rods, electronic devices, including smart home systems. Don't sign off on the final walkthrough until you've confirmed everything is in good condition, the repairs are completed, and the items that convey with the home are present.